Board games. They're a staple in any household. Wherever you are, you're not very far from a Scrabble or Monopoly board. But instead of talking about the basics like Battleship or Connect 4, I'm going to focus on something I never knew existed until recently, the I Spy Eagle Eye board game. Growing up, I would always race to the I Spy books at library time. I could spend hours looking at those pages and the random scenarios sprinkled in. The objective of these books is simple. Locate the items listed in the riddle of each page. And for the pros, there's extra challenging lists in the back. But more on the books later. Right now, let's talk about the board game. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, you're probably wondering, how could they turn something with a concept as straightforward as I Spy into a board game? They added a bell. The game includes 4 double-sided game boards, presumably pages from the book, 30 double-sided cards with objects defined, and a bell. Instead of one way to play, there's 3. Let's start with the most basic 2-player option. The rules are simple. Each player chooses a board and draws a card. Each card face has 8 objects on it, 1 from each board. Your goal is to find the item on your card that goes with your board first. If you do, ring the bell. If you don't, contemplate continuing on with the game. You and your opponent set the score, the default being 6, and each round is a point. But that's just 2 players. What if you're at a party and you want to play I Spy Eagle Eye? Just go home. The rules for 3 to 4 players are a bit different. Well, the scoring is at least. Now you play until everyone finds their object. If there's 4 players, the first player scores 4 points, the second scores 3, and so on. If there's 3 players, then the first player gets 3 points, second gets 2 points, and third gets 1. For this, you want to have a higher score set because rounds go by quick. And last but not least, tournament play. Yep, they thought of everything. In this rule set, all boards are in play and all players are looking for the same item. Players each get to ring the bell once per round. When you ring once, everyone must pass their board to the left. If there's only 3 players, however, the 4th unoccupied board can be swapped freely without the use of the bell. Recommended number of rounds here is 3, with the winner of a round scoring points equal to the number of people playing. 4 players equals 4 points, 3 players equals 3 points. Ring the bell 3 times once you've found the agreed upon item to end the round. And that's the I Spy Eagle Eye board game. I must say, they did a great job sticking to the source material while also creating a unique and fun experience. Now that I've talked about an I Spy board game, how about an I Spy card game? I Spy Go Fish. Yep, they thought of everything. Ever play Go Fish with regular cards? Boring. Ever play Go Fish with clowns? It's a riot. As you may have guessed, the numbers are replaced with these images. Pictures of things like frogs, bees, and telephones. Now I don't usually say telephones, but what's the first thing that pops into your head when you see this? It's a telephone. Other than that, there really isn't much to say. I mean, it's Go Fish. What I can say is this and Eagle Eye are pretty solid games. Would definitely recommend, if you can find them. And before we move on, let me just say that these book riddles are much more cryptic than I remember. To the point where they don't even really tell you what you're looking for and you have to figure it out for yourself. Oh well, still a good series. On to a game I know you've never heard of. That's right, Hand to Hand, Ninja Edition. All game, no board. This game uses a cloth rather than a board, and instead of trying to make it all the way around the board, or cloth, your goal is to make it to the base directly across the base where you started. Roll a die to see who goes first. Whoever rolls the highest starts the game. Something cool about this game is when you start a pawn, you can go either way. Roll doubles and you have the choice of splitting the move between 2 pawns, and you get to go again. That is of course if you don't lose a challenge. What is a challenge, you ask? Well, when your pawn crosses another player's pawn, you must play a round of rock, paper, scissors. If you win, your turn continues as it normally would. If you lose, your pawn is sent back to your base. And I assume with 4 players that would happen a lot. Upon first inspection, I assumed this game would be the definition of nothing special. Who would have guessed it would become one of my favorite board games? It's fast paced and the endgame can be intense. Well, there you have it. 3 great games. Games I never heard of before acquiring them, but it ended up becoming favorites. Except Go Fish. But for real, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you and comment your favorite board game. If I have it, I'll put it in my next board game video. Peace.